Hi everyone, my name is Michiel Saelen. I had the privilege to be part of the Skyline Communications team for 5 years now. During that time, I started to learn about Cassandra by investigating issues mainly. And from that moment onwards, I had a growing interest for Cassandra, how it works, and also how it should be used. Then the main product of Skyline Communications is Data Miner. Our CEO has a very long description for our product, but in short, Data Miner monitors and control any device or system that has a way of communicating with it. Could be HTTP, SNMP, serial, or any form of API. With Data Miner, you can reserve equipment in your system, functions of the equipment through bookings, run scripts that configure your complete end-to-end chain. For service delivery, you can aggregate statuses and alarms to the complete chain, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. On the previous slide, you saw some aggregated results, and use cases can also be checked on our community platform with the link there. On Data Miner, we push up to 800,000 monitoring points per second towards our database. And we make use of Cassandra and Elastic for our software to ensure that the database is not running into any trouble. We monitor the database with our own product. In the background, we are using the C# driver to connect to the Cassandra system, and then we perform SQL queries to get the statistical data out of it. Here you can see a overview of all the tables that are in Cassandra that we retrieve through SQL. All this information, as I said, is retrieved through SQL, pushed into Data Miner, and here you can also see we have a column repair checks. That's something we will come back on later. From Cassandra, Cassandra 4.0, we have virtual tables for which we are very grateful to everyone that helped to make this possible. Prior to 4.0, if we want to get all of the valuable data out of it, we had to set up remote scripting, remote JMX, which could be a very large challenge to do this in a secure way. Here we can see an example of such virtual tables. So we iterate over all of the nodes to get the data, and we can join them into one big table, so it's easy to compare the different nodes. And on the size column, you saw there was a trend icon. So if we click on that, we can bring up also the historical data of it. And here you can see for 3 nodes how it's progressing over time. So we can easily see what happened in the past on the nodes, but we can also predict a bit towards the future if we will run into problems and scale the system if needed. Another interesting virtual table for us is the settings table, which allows us to easily detect anomalies between configuration and settings. So here you can see that if we search for authentication, we see password authenticator is enabled on all of our nodes. So we can easily see if there would be one node that has a missing configuration on there. We're also looking, on the left side, you can also see a lot of other pages that we cannot cover here in this lightning talk, but we're also looking to expand the driver towards the future. And one of the things that we also introduced in this driver is system checks. So all of the data that we retrieve from the system, we are evaluating and then giving suggestions to the operators. So here we have 3 checks that failed on the system. We have a repair check where we check if the tables were repaired within the GC grace seconds. That was the column that you can disable for every table, so that if you have, for example, a GC grace seconds, which is very low for hinted handoff, that you don't get false alarms. And then immediately you know if there is something wrong. And there were also some other checks as well that we're also planning to expand. Here at last, I also want to give you an overview of what we have done with Data Miner. So we have over 1,500 customers, 9,000 systems, and 125 countries that have Data Miner deployed. And some of our key customers can be found on this wall here. Probably you know a couple of them. And if you have any questions, they can be made on our community platform. You can search also through our questions. There are already also a broad variety of use cases on our community platform, or you can also send mails directly to me if you have any questions. Thank you for listening, and also thank you for letting me speak on this lightning talk. It was very inspiring.
That's awesome, Michel. Really amazing work. So I'm really interested in the fact that you're already taking advantage of the virtual tables. I'm going to have to catch up with you at some point to talk about maybe doing a series of blog posts on the Cassandra website, because I think this is going to be awesome. And in fact, that goes for all the other speakers as well, all the other presenters. Yeah, so looking forward to collaborating with you and getting some content up about data miner on the Cassandra website.